September 29, 1980. To Buttertwater, Elk Grove Village, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Morning. A 12-year-old girl wakes up with a headache or a throat. Normal childhood illness. Her parents give her Extra-Strength Tylenol, 2 capsules, from a bottle in the medicine cabinet. Diet. Standard. Dillion. Pissim. Mines. Safe. Trusted. Mary Kellerman takes the pills. Goes back to bed. Within an hour, she's unconscious. Within hours, she's dead. Her parents think it's sudden illness. Stroke, maybe. Something medical. Something explainable. They don't know yet. Don't understand. That their daughter was murdered. By someone they'll never meet. Someone who put poison in Tylenol capsules. Put them back in bottles. Put bottles back on store shelves. And walked away. Anonymous. Tasteless. Invisible. Never caught. By the end of the next day, 6 more people would be dead. All from poison Tylenol. All from the Chicago area. All random victims. No connection, except geography and bad luck. They picked up the wrong bottle, took the wrong pills, and died. The Tylenol murders remain unsolved. 43 years later, the killer was never identified, never arrested, never punished. But their impact changed everything. Changed how medicine is packaged, how products are sealed, how we think about safety. Every time you struggle with tamper-proof packaging, every time you peel off a safety seal, you're experiencing the legacy of these murders. The legacy of 7 deaths and 1 killer who got away. Mary Kellerman, 12 years old. 7th grader, loved school. Played with neighborhood kids. Normal American childhood. Died September 29th, 1982, around 7 a.m. She took Tylenol. By 9:30 a.m., paramedics were called. She was in cardiac arrest. They couldn't save her. Pronounced dead at the hospital. Cause of death unknown. Parents were devastated, confused. How does a healthy 12-year-old die suddenly? Doctors didn't know. Ran tests, looked for answers, found nothing. Not yet. They would, but not in time to save anyone else. That same morning, 10 a.m., Arlington Heights, Illinois. They say Daddy, Adam Janus, 27 years old, postal worker. Tom worker. Woke up, feeling minor chest discomfort. Nothing serious. Took Extra-Strength Tylenol, 2 capsules, from a bottle he'd recently purchased at a local Jewel supermarket. Shortly after, he collapsed. Paramedics arrived, rushed him to Northwest Community Hospital. He was pronounced dead at 12:15 p.m. Doctors suspected heart attack. Young, but it happens. They didn't connect it to Mary Kellerman yet. 2 deaths. Same morning. Same area. Same cause. But nobody knew. Not yet. Adam Janus's family gathered at his home that afternoon. Grief. Shock. Devastation. This coke. God. Confusion. His younger brother Stanley, 25, and Stanley's wife Theresa, 19, were there. Both had headaches, stress from the tragedy. They found Adam's Tylenol bottle, took pills. Within an hour, both collapsed. Both were rushed to the hospital. Both died. Stanley died that evening. Theresa died 2 days later, October 1st. 3 people from one family, dead within hours. All took Tylenol from the same bottle. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't natural. This was something else. Something terrifying. September 29th, late afternoon. Mary McFarland, 31 years old. Worked at Illinois Bell. Gave her daughter $1. Sent her to the store for Tylenol. Mary had a headache. The daughter returned. Mary took 2 capsules. Collapsed shortly after. Died at the hospital. September 29th. Evening. Paula Prince Tortins, 35 years old. Flight attendant. Dote. Stopped at Walgreens after work. Bought Extra-Strength Tylenol. Dams Messi. Aminol. Went home. Took 2 capsules. Found dead in her apartment the next morning. September 30th. Morning duty. Mary Reiner, 27 years old. Recently given birth. 4th child. Had minor pain. Took Tylenol. Collapsed. Died. Dumped. 7 people. 2 days. All Tylenol. All dead. By September 30th, hospitals were noticing a pattern. Multiple sudden deaths. All similar symptoms. All took Tylenol before dying. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office was alerted. They tested the Tylenol capsules, found to cause cyanide, dicto, choice, neisandon, potassium cyanide. Lethal, dodge, binder, dancing, paugo, homicium, bears. Someone had opened Tylenol capsules, removed the medicine powder, replaced it with cyanide, resealed the capsules, put them back in bottles, returned bottles to store shelves in multiple locations across the Chicago area. And then just walked away, left poison on shelves for random people to buy, to take, to die from. It was terrorism, mass murder, random, dirty, senseless, terrifying. The announcement went out September 30th. Public warning. Do not take Tylenol. Do not take extra-strength Tylenol capsules. Throw them away. Immediately, the news spread fast. Radio, TV, newspapers. Chicago was in panic. Tylenol was in every home, every medicine cabinet. Millions of bottles. Any could be poisoned. People rushed to dispose of pills. Paramedics went door to door in affected neighborhoods, collecting bottles. warning residents. Hospitals prepared for mass casualties, for panic, but for chaos. The city was paralyzed by fear. Not fear of what had happened, fear of what could still happen, because the killer was still out there, and poison was still on shelves. Johnson & Johnson, maker of Tylenol, issued immediate recall. All Extra-Strength Tylenol capsules nationwide, 31 million bottles, worth over $100 million. Largest product recall in American history at that time. The company didn't hesitate, didn't calculate cost, didn't debate. They pulled everything immediately. It was the right decision, the only decision, but it was devastating. Tylenol was their top product, trusted brand, household name. And overnight, it became symbol of death, of danger, of fear. The company's reputation was destroyed. Their product was literally killing people through no fault of their own. But still, their product, their responsibility. Police searched stores across Chicago, pulled Tylenol bottles from shelves, tested them, found more poisoned bottles, different stores, different locations. This wasn't single incident. This was coordinated. Multiple stores had been targeted. Someone had gone store to store, poisoning bottles. TC. Out. Bamsia. I had lost a tooth. Wrote. Returning them to shelves. How many stores? How many bottles? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. That was the terror, the uncertainty. Any bottle could be poisoned. Any store could have them. Anyone could be next. Chicago residents stopped trusting medicine, stopped trusting stores, stopped trusting anything. The psychological impact was massive and lasting. Trust, once broken, doesn't easily repair. Copycat incidents started immediately, within days. Tylenol poisonings reported across the country. Most were hoaxes, people calling in false reports, attention seekers. But some were real copycats, poisoning other products, other medicines, other foods. The original crime had opened a door, shown how easy it was, how much chaos one person could cause, how much fear. The wave of product tampering crimes that followed changed America forever. Changed how products were packaged, how they were sealed, how they were protected. All because of 7 deaths in Chicago and one killer who was never caught. The FBI took over the investigation, made it priority one. Hundreds of agents assigned. Thousands of leads followed. Every tip investigated. Every possibility explored. They interviewed employees at stores where poison bottles were found. Looked for disgruntled workers. Fired employees. Anyone with access and motive. They tested over 1 million Tylenol capsules. Found only 8 poisoned bottles. All from the Chicago area. All placed on shelves within days of each other. The killer had been careful, methodical, but not perfect. They'd left clues. Small ones, but clues. The question was, Would they be enough? The FBI's theory: the poisoner bought Tylenol bottles at retail stores, took them home or to private location, opened them carefully, removed capsules, opened capsules, dumped medicine powder, replaced with cyanide powder, resealed capsules, put them back in bottles, sealed bottles so they appeared unopened, then returned to stores, placed bottles back on shelves, and left. This required planning, equipment, tort, cyanide, access, privacy, but time. This wasn't impulse. This wasn't rage. This was calculated, deliberate. Someone wanted to kill, wanted to terrorize, wanted to create chaos, and they succeeded. Who had access to cyanide in 1982? Many people. It was used in photography, metal plating, pest control, chemistry labs, universities, industrial facilities. Thousands of people had legitimate access. The FBI investigated them all. Chemistry, slab workers, DAP workers, photographers, exterminators, anyone who could obtain cyanide. They found hundreds of possibilities, but no connections to the victims, no motives, no evidence. The investigation was drowning in leads, all going nowhere. The killer had left no fingerprints, no DNA, no witnesses, no trail, just death. And questions. October 5th, 1982. 1 week after the first death, the FBI received a letter sent to Johnson & Johnson, typed B, no return address, Chicago postmark, KCC, Das. The letter demanded money. $1 million or more people would die. More products would be poisoned. The letter was signed James W. Lewis, tied, told by Shibari's. No. The FBI investigated, found James Lewis, 46 years old, living in New York City. History of fraud, history of violence, history of writing extortion letters. He was perfect suspect. Too perfect. The I arrested him, but not for murder, for extortion. The letter was crime. But did Lewis poison the Tylenol? That was harder to prove. James Lewis claimed innocence, said he didn't poison anything, just saw opportunity, saw the murders on news, decided to extort money from Johnson & Johnson, blamed them for poor security, demanded payment. He was opportunist, not murderer. At least, that's what he claimed. The FBI wasn't convinced. They investigated his background, found he'd lived in Chicago area before moving to New York, had access to the city when murders occurred, had chemistry knowledge, had motive if the extortion succeeded, but they couldn't prove he bought the Tylenol, couldn't prove he accessed cyanide, couldn't prove anything except the extortion letter. So that's what they charged him with. Lewis was convicted of extortion, sentenced to 20 years, but he was never charged with the murders, never prosecuted for the poisonings. The evidence wasn't there, just circumstantial connections, suspicious timing, but no proof. No physical evidence linking him to the poison bottles. The case remained open. Unsolved. Lewis served his sentence, was released in 1995. Lived quietly, moved to Massachusetts, remarried, lived under different name. He avoided publicity until 2009, when he gave an interview. Dini involvement. Again, said he was just trying to make money. Stupid decision, but not murderer. He died in 2023. Aga 83. Tort. Deus, still maintaining innocence, and the Tylenol murders remain unsolved. Other suspects emerged over the years. A man named Roger Arnold, accused by a former co-worker. FBI raided his home, found nothing. He was cleared, but his life was destroyed. Another man, name withheld, worked at a jewel store where poisoned Tylenol was sold. Fit profile, had access, but no evidence. Cleared after investigation. Theories multiplied. Disgruntled employee of Johnson & Johnson. Competitor trying to destroy Tylenol. Random psychopath seeking thrill. Terrorist making political statement. The FBI investigated everything. Everyone. Found nothing conclusive. The case went cold. Not closed, just cold. Still open today. Still unsolved. Still waiting for that one tip. That one piece of evidence. That one person who knows something and finally speaks. The Tylenol murders opened a door. Showed criminals a new method. Product tampering. Tipsy wire. And poisoning. Gehar. Soon. Toskade. Davis Dow. Dire. Amilde. Maximum fear with minimal risk. Within months, copycat crimes exploded. Across America. Across the world. Someone poisoned Excedrin in Washington state. 2 people died. 1986. That case was solved. Stella Nickel poisoned her husband for insurance money. Killed stranger to make it look random. Caught. Baked. Convicted. But she got the idea from Tylenol. Someone contaminated Tylenol in New York with rat poison. No deaths. Caught before. Consumed. Someone put needles in candy. Halloween, 1982. Panic ensued. Mostly hoaxes, but some real. All inspired by Chicago murders. International incidents followed. Japan.t. Isam Chibsi. Kombort. Tabang. Ainal Kano. Someone poisoned candy and drinks. Multiple injuries. Australia.t. Don't. Kagamisi. Maya Nang. Needles and strawberries. Mass recall. Panic. Vinci. Fear. Partium. All copying the Tylenol method. Show that products aren't safe. That Anyone could be victim. That consuming anything was risk. The psychological terrorism was effective. People stopped trusting, stopped buying. Industries suffered. Governments reacted. Laws changed. Regulations tightened. All because 7 people died in Chicago, and one killer showed how easy it was to terrorize, to kill, to get away with it. The ripple effects lasted decades, still last today. The most disturbing copycat wasn't about money, wasn't about revenge, was about nothing. A man in Tennessee poisoned his own medicine bottles, put them in his bathroom, waited. His wife took pills. She died. Why? No insurance payout. No affair. No motive. Just wanted to kill. And Tylenol showed him how. Make it look random. Make it look like product tampering. Shift blame to manufacturer. He almost got away with it. Almost. But small mistakes. Inconsistent story. Led police to investigate. Found evidence. Convicted him. But the fact that he tried, that Tylenol gave him the idea, that's chilling. How many others thought about it, considered it, maybe even tried it, and weren't caught? We'll never know. The pharmaceutical industry panicked. If medicine could be poisoned, nothing was safe. They lobbied Congress, demanded legislation, protection. Federal law passed in 1983. Act 2, the Federal Anti-Tampering Act. Made product tampering a federal crime. Maximum penalty: life in prison for tampering, for poisoning, for creating fear. The law was necessary, but also admission. Admission that society had changed. Thirst was gone. That innocence was lost. Before 1982, Americans believed products were safe, believed stores were safe, believed corporations protected them. After Tylenol, that belief died, along with 7 people, and it's never fully returned. Look at any medicine bottle today, any food package, any product container. You'll see safety seals, tamper-evident packaging, shrink-wrap punkt, gunt, foil seals, breakable caps. All of it exists because of the Tylenol murders. Before 1982, most products had no protection. Simple caps, easy to open, easy to tamper with. After 1982, everything changed. Johnson & Johnson led the way, redesigned Tylenol packaging completely. Triple sealed, tamper-evident. You are. My necessity. Time out day. Impossible to open without visible damage. Other companies followed. Industry-wide adoption. Within years, every product was sealed, protected. The inconvenience we experience today, the frustration opening packages, that's the price of safety. And it's a price we pay because 7 people died. Johnson & Johnson's response is still taught in business schools. Crisis management case study, bite, how to handle disaster. They didn't deny, didn't deflect blame, didn't minimize. They took immediate action, recalled everything. I warned everyone, lost millions, but saved their reputation. Eventually, it took time. Public trust was shattered, but their response, honest, immediate, comprehensive, it rebuilt trust slowly. Tylenol sales dropped to zero after the murders. By 1983, they recovered. By 1986, Tylenol was #1 pain reliever again. The company survived because they did the right thing, even when it was expensive, even when it hurt. That's the lesson. In tragedy, honesty matters. Action matters. Doing right matters more than profits. The investigation continued for decades. FBI never closed the case. New leads followed. New suspects investigated. As technology advanced, old evidence was retested. DNA testing, fingerprint analysis, chemical tracing, everything modern forensics could offer. But the original crime was too clean, too careful. The killer left nothing usable. No biological evidence, no fingerprints, no witnesses, just 8 poisoned bottles and 7 dead victims. The case became an example of perfect crime. Not perfect morally, but perfect technically. Someone committed mass murder, terrorized a nation, and completely got away with it. That reality is uncomfortable, disturbing. But it's reality. Theories about the killer's identity evolved over time. Early theory: random psychopath, someone seeking thrill or notoriety. Middle theory: James Lewis, extortionist who wrote the letter. Later theory: inside job, someone with grudge against Johnson & Johnson or retail stores. Current theory: mix of all three. Someone with access, knowledge, and motive we haven't identified. The truth is, we don't know. 43 years later, we still don't know. The killer could be dead, could be alive, could be reading this right now, knowing they got away with it, living normal life with terrible secret. 7 murders, never solved, never punished, just memory and mystery. For the families of victims, closure never came. Mary Kellerman's parents spent decades seeking answers. Adam Janus's family, devastated by 3 deaths, demanded justice that never arrived. Paula Prince's family established scholarship in her name. Mary Reiner's 4 children grew up without their mother. Because someone, somewhere, decided to kill, randomly, anonymously, without reason they'll ever understand. The families live with that forever. The absence, the questions, the injustice. They found ways to cope, to remember, to honor their loved ones. But the wound never fully heals. How could it? Their family members were murdered, and the killer walks free. Has walked free for 43 years. That's not closure. That's ongoing trauma. That's permanent loss, with no resolution. No justice, no peace. Why wasn't the Tylenol killer caught? Several reasons. First, The crime was unprecedented. Nothing like it had happened before. Police had no playbook, no procedures, no training for product tampering mass murder. They were inventing response in real time while people died. Second, the timeline was compressed. All poisonings occurred within 48 hours. By the time police understood it was murder, victims were dead, evidence contaminated, bottles disposed of. The killer's window was narrow, and they used it perfectly. Third, the randomness. No connection between victims, no motive to trace, no pattern to follow. Just geography and bad luck. That made investigation nearly impossible. Fourth, the method was brilliant. From criminal perspective, the killer never met victims, never touched them, never interacted, just poisoned products, put them back, and left. Physical evidence was minimal. The bottles themselves were mass-produced, sold everywhere, untraceable. The cyanide was never sourced. Too many legitimate uses, too many access points. The killer carefully avoided leaving fingerprints. DNA wasn't technology yet in 1982, so they didn't worry about that. They just disappeared back into normal life, and nobody noticed. Because nobody knew who to look for, what to look for, where to look. The perfect crime, almost. The fifth, James Lewis's extortion letter, tart data. It muddied waters. FBI had to investigate him. Spent resources, time, energy, chasing someone who probably wasn't the killer, just an opportunist. Meanwhile, real killer had more time, more distance, more chance to destroy evidence, to create alibis, to vanish. Lewis might have been the killer. FBI never ruled him out completely, but they could never prove it. So he served time for extortion, and murders remained unsolved. Was he clever? Playing long game? Writing letter to insert himself into investigation while appearing innocent? Maybe. Or was he just greedy idiot who saw opportunity? We'll never know. He died maintaining innocence, and secret, if he had one, died with him. The FBI profile of the killer. Male, aged 30-50 in 1982. Lived in Chicago area. DC, Dayodana, Kanai, Data, and had access to cyanide through work or hobby. Chemistry knowledge. Jerry. These humans comfortable in retail environments. Methodical. Dot. Patient. Die. Oro. Mim. Dopanesia. Intelligent. Peace. Go on. Intelligent. Domicile. Possibly held grudge against Johnson & Johnson. Retail stores or society in general. No obvious signs of instability. Functioned normally in daily life. Could be anyone. Your neighbor, your co-worker, your pharmacist. That's what made it terrifying. The killer was ordinary until they weren't. Until they decided 7 strangers should die. For no reason victims would ever understand. And then went back to being ordinary. Living among us. Undetected. Unknown. Time. Free. Modern investigators reviewed case in 2009, used new technology, re-interviewed witnesses, re-examined evidence, found nothing new. Case was cold, not from lack of effort, from lack of evidence. The killer was too careful, or too lucky, or both. The case remains open. FBI still accepts tips, still follows leads, still hopes for breakthrough. But realistic expectation? The killer is probably dead. Natural causes, old age. Never confessed, never caught. Took their secret to grave. And 7 families live without justice. Forever. Kidnapped him. That's the reality. Unsatisfying. Incomplete. Painful. But real. 7 people died in September. In October 1982. Mary Kellerman, 12. Adam Janus, 27. Stanley Janus, 25. Theresa Janus, 19. Behanyo matiga die crusade by Totti. Theresa Janus, 1930. Mary Reiner, 27. Mary McFarland, 34. Paula Prince, 35. They weren't connected, didn't know each other, lived different lives, had different families, different dreams. The only thing they shared, geography and timing. They lived in Chicago area, and they needed Tylenol at the wrong time, from the wrong stores. And that's why they died. Random victims. Condior. Choice out of random crime by random killer. Who was never caught. We should remember their names. Remember they were real. Where people, where love, were lost. For no reason, for no purpose, for nothing. The Tylenol murders changed how we live. Daily. Every time you open medicine. Peel seal. Kind. Break. Plastic. You're experiencing ripple effect of 7 deaths. Is the inconvenience worth it? Absolutely. Product tampering crimes dropped dramatically after safety seals. Not to 0, but dramatically. Copycats found it harder, riskier. Don't do it. Kind. Less attractive. The packaging works. Protects us. Saves lives. We'll never know how many. Can't count prevented deaths. But they're there. Real people. Living today. Because industry learned. Changed. Adapted. After 7 people died. That's their legacy. Not just tragedy, but protection, but prevention, but safety. Born from loss, from pain, from injustice, but still meaningful. The unsolved nature haunts us. We want answers. Want closure. Want justice. Especially in America. We believe in happy endings. Believe criminals get caught. Believe good triumphs. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes evil wins, gets away, lives free, dies unpunished. The Tylenol killer. One data by any measure. Killed 7 people, terrorized nation, changed entire industries, and faced no consequences. Nothing. Just got away with it. That's hard to accept, hard to process. Challenges our worldview. Our belief in justice, in order, in fairness. But it's truth, and we have to live with it. Have to accept that some questions never get answered. Some killers never get caught. Some families never get closure. That's reality. Uncomfortable, painful, but real. If you know something, anything, about these murders, if you've kept secret for 43 years, you don't know now. If you suspect someone, if you have information, now is time. FBI tip line is still active. Case is still open. Families still waiting. You can be anonymous, protected, but please, come forward. I may see 7 people died. 7 families suffered for 43 years. They deserve answers, deserve justice, deserve peace. Even if killer is dead, knowing would help, would close chapter, would let families heal. Please, if you know something, say something. It's never too late. For truth, for justice, for doing right thing. Even 43 years later. Especially 43 years later. His has been the story of the Tylenol murders. September 1982. Total 7 deaths. 2 days. Still unsolved. It changed America forever. Changed how we package products, how we trust corporations, how we think about safety. The killer was never caught, never identified, never punished. They got away with perfect crime, almost perfect. Because we remember. We remember the victims. We remember their names. We remember that evil exists, that it can be random, senseless, unpunished. But we also remember that society learns, adapts, protects, that from tragedy comes prevention, from loss comes safety. 7 people died so millions could be protected. That's not justice, but it's something. It's meaning. Keeps him out from meaningless violence. It's legacy from senseless death. Remember Mary, Adam, Stanley, Theresa, Mary, and Paula. Remember they mattered. Remember they're still waiting for justice, for answers, for peace. And maybe someday they'll get them.